Good afternoon. We are at the Shahanapoli property. We're going to be completing a repairability test. We'll be on the back slope, which is south. We have this damaged shingle here we'll do our repair test on. I've identified the damaged one with an X and then marked up all of the shingles surrounding that one, all of which could potentially be damaged during the repairability test. I'll give you an overview of all of those surrounding shingles before we get started, and then I'll show you the results once we're done. For my tools, I'll be using a putty knife, hammer, roof snake, and flat bar. Get started with the putty knife. We'll use that to unseal shingle 8, the top shingle there. And we'll use the flat bar to unseal the rest of those shingles. See how those two different tools affect the shingles differently. We'll start removing these nails now. Right, we got all of those nails out so we could remove that damaged shingle. Then we'll go ahead and slide this new shingle in, get it all lined up nicely. Right, now we'll start getting some nails in there. We'll be using the roof snake for that. Alright, we're all complete with the repairability test. Show you guys the results. Give you another overview of all of those surrounding shingles. And we'll take a closer look at the shingles right above the new shingle. We can see some stress fractures along these, and we can see a big difference in the condition of these shingles compared to these other ones up here. They're still down. We did not have to manipulate at all to complete that repairability test. You can see a big difference from those tabs compared to these unaffected ones over here. Just to give you a quick side-by-side comparison. Now I'll give you some close-ups of these tabs. Looks like we can see some form of stress fracture along all of them. We have this one here. Stress fracture along the top. What those stress fractures are is the matting on the shingle is breaking in those areas, which is damaging the integrity of that shingle. It's also going to be affecting its water shedding capabilities, as the matting is the main component for that. We can feel where it's very weak towards the top. Give you a side view here of this as well. You can see it's very weak in those areas with the stress fracture, and that's going to not allow the shingle to work the best that it is designed to do. You can see a stress fracture along there. Same thing here. See the stress fracture all across, but it looks real bad in the corner there. You can see some pretty significant damages to the corner of that tab. And then we'll take a look at any mat transfer underneath the shingles. Looks like we can see a little bit of mat transfer here, along with where those the chunks of matting came off from the bottom of this tab, leaving those the exposed fiberglass we can see there. Same thing here. You can see that matting transfer there, where that came off the bottom of that tab. The exposed fiberglass as well. And this one's real bad here. You can see that big piece. You can see some mat transfer down here as well. Got that big chunk leaving the exposed fiberglass. Some more mat transfer on these. A bit more right there as well. You can see the exposed fiberglass. And that mat transfer will also be damaging the integrity of the shingle. As we can see, it's taking chunks off the bottom of those tabs and leaving those in a worse condition with that exposed fiberglass there. So that'll also be damaging the integrity of the shingle, and it's also going to make it more difficult for those shingles to reseal properly once repairs have been made. You can see with that mat transfer there, the tar line is non-existent in that area, so shingles will not reseal properly from that mat transfer as well. And then I also wanted to point out at the beginning of the video, when we were unsealing, which is what caused that mat transfer, we used the putty knife to unseal number 8 there, the top shingle, and we used the flat bar to unseal the rest of them, number 6 and 1 tab on 5. And we can see mat transfer along both of those rows, so we can see either tool that's used is going to cause some form of mat transfer, so it's going to be impossible to get around that. So with all of the stress fractures caused to those tabs right above there, along with all of that mat transfer, those are going to be potential leak hazards due to those damages. And we can see an additional 1, 2, 3 shingles damaged from that repairability test. You can actually see probably more damaged shingles as well, because we can see that where that mat transfer is right there. That got on the top of shingle 3. So we can see at least 4 damaged shingles caused due to the repairability test, and this should be the most accurate representation for repairs. Show us what those surrounding shingles are going to look like. So I do not believe that repairs are feasible. As we can see the results here, this insured would be left with an additional at least 3 damaged shingles for every wind damaged shingle repaired, and they're going to have potential leak hazards all over their roof. As we can see, the wind damage is very widespread. We have it all over this back slope. Looks like it's going to be on all of the slopes all around, so I do not believe that this roof is repairable. As we can see from the repair test here, they'd be left with more damaged shingles than they originally had prior to the loss, and I do not believe that that would be indemnification if repairs were to be made. So I'll go and chalk up all those damages and get some better pictures of those. Thank you for your time.